For this video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit non-traditional. Yet again, we're going to be playing a tempo scout list. This does have a bit of the like sheer point curse package, but it's not a Banelord list. Honestly, I said it in a video earlier this week. I just wanted to play a deck that was running Razum-Dar and Galyn. Why? Because I've been running into both those cards non-stop lately. If it's not one, it's the other, and I've been losing to them more than anything else, so I just said to myself, you know what? I'm going to build a list that runs both. Not because it's good, but because I'm just tired of seeing them, and so this is, well, ultimately what I came up with. So we're going to jump on the ladder, play 2 games, win or lose. Keep in mind, I don't even think this is the best way to build Tempo Scout. I don't think Galyn belongs in a deck like this, but I'm just tired of those 2 cards, and so I want to use them for my own benefit, or at least throw them both in a deck so I get those good vibes working in my favor. So, yeah, we're gonna see if we can make it work. 2 games, win or lose. This Scout is in an interesting position because theoretically a deck like this could work. I don't think it's like as good as some of your blue-based mid-range lists because they don't have the resiliency, they lack the wards, but you can certainly do some very aggressive things. Young Mammoth is still great, Haunting Spirit's still great. Mournhold Trader and Slinking Jackal represent a lot of damage early on, potentially. No ring, so we're going to keep the Mammoth and try to find ourselves a 2-drop. I mean, we're running a fair number of them, but there we go. We'll have that to play next turn. And I am running Skulk. It's not nearly the dominating force that it used to be, but I do like the idea here of playing Skulk. We're just going to go ahead and contest this. I don't think that we're a true aggro deck, so trying to race other decks doesn't make an awful lot of sense. We're more tempo-oriented, so we want to try to keep the board tampered down as best we can for a bit, and then set up some power plays with Skulk and Curse and so forth. They're very clearly an aggro deck, though. They're going to be Warrior Mudcrab, maybe? Yeah, they're just ignoring me. Wow. Okay. That is very interesting. Let's play the Skulk here. We could take the trade, but at this point, if they're going to keep ignoring me, then setting it up so we could Curse 1 and value trade next turn makes an awful lot of sense. Or at least this might now force them to make a trade.
We'll see how they like someone who fights back. You can't win.
Yeah, at least force them to make the trade. We don't really have a lot of 4-drops in this deck anyway, so we'll go ahead and do that. And tough call here. Young Mammoth value trades with things, so that's the one that seems to make the most sense here. But you could make a strong argument to Galyn Cliff Racer and hope that you start drawing into them, but I think that the Mammoth makes the most sense. Let's get this Mammoth down. We're going to proactively curse this one so that if they want to get rid of this, they either have to buff something or play a charger, or they have to 2-for-1 into it. Well, 1.5. This one would survive, but again, I think that's probably correct.
As long as I draw a breath.
We must protect our stronghold.
Oh, okay. Archer's another way to get your point across, I suppose.
Too late for you.
And in this situation, we just take the value trades that we can. We're still a bit behind, right? They had initiative. We've yet to rebound. I mean, we're keeping relative pace. Our boards are about even. We're going to hope that over the next couple turns here, maybe Sheer Point into Nahak Leave will give us the tempo that we're looking for. Or it could even just be like into Sai Sahan. That seems very effective. Well, we can't trade with either one of those, so let's give them free cards, apparently. I was going to say keep up with pressure, but there's almost no prophecy that's good for us here.
We'll see how they like someone who fights
Yeah, that's
back.
pretty bad. So, We're just going to go ahead and do this. You could have done it here, which saves 1 more damage, but if the plan is Sai-Sahan next turn and you expect this to survive, then you just want to, I think, sacrifice the 1 health to set up the most. Oh no! They're an aggro deck running Fell the Mighty. Well, okay, fine. They're an aggro deck running Fell the Mighty. We'll just do this then instead. Hope they don't have the burst from hand. The Fell the Mighty caught me way off guard, gang. Don't have a lot of, like, health gain effects here. We do have some guards, right? So Nahagleave will help a bit. The Sai-Sahan will hopefully help tamper things down as well. That is problematic, to say the least. These skulks feel really bad when we're post-curse. We're in a post-curse world. Yeah, this is problematic, because if this fetches like Sower, I think we just outright lose. I think this has to be the play.
Orcs at the ready.
Alright, that's manageable. Who knew Gartwog would be so annoying? And yet, here we are. The Fell the Mighty ended up being pretty problematic. We'd have been in a much better position if Sai-Sahan comes down and clears that board and we still have the curses in hand, then we clean all that up, no problem, right? So the Fell the Mighty was truly an issue.
I'll shut you. Come on, then. Entertain me. We are not done.
Okay.
Not yet.
I respect that. I respect that for sure. We have Shadow Shift to clean this up, which then, but it means sacrificing the Nahagleave, but it does mean Sai-Sahan cleans up the rest. So let's do this to see what card we draw. This is an okay inclusion as well. But we're going to make this trade. We do at some point have to try to win, right? So we're going to sadly give them the card here. But I think we're just going to go ahead and do this. Get that clear. And then we're a Cliff Racer away from threatening lethal. But we do know they have this Archer in hand that will likely try to slow us down. But no, they concede! Wow, their hand must be garbage because this was far from over. And that is a hard-fought victory against somebody running orcs after, you know, I was just running orcs. So I know how it feels, kind sir or madam. But on that note, we're going to jump into game 2. As always, this is 2 games, win or lose. With the old deck testing format. And now we're up against Crusader, and this is actually a very keepable hand. I was going to say, this has the potential to be really rough, specifically if it's Crab Satyr. They can get underneath, and while we do have some great tempo tools to deal with it, most of them are more expensive, but starting with 3 2-drops in the ring is a great way to combat that. So we're just going to lead off by
You can trust me.
Going with the old Mournhold Trader. Good old trusty 4-4 in the field lane, establishing dominance.
Training is over. It's time to act.
Surprise!
And we're going to go with the Jackal here. If it was not 5th Legion Trainer and something else, I would have probably ringed Skulk, because getting these curses up and running is pretty relevant, but this Jackal means if they don't have something like a Marked Man or so forth, we can get this value trade on the Trainer, which is a very annoying card, and put us in a better position. But in a matchup like this, Skulk is actually a really solid tempo tool. You kind of force them to play defense and get rid of it, or you're going to eat a bunch of their weenies.
The Oriole do not waste time chatting with mortals.
Okay.
I'll
So this makes it so that I have to at least trade 1 for 1. So I like that play from them. We'll gladly do it though. I mean, we're going to take that. We do not want to leave this on the board, even more so going into turn 4. Seeing this means it might not be crabs, it could be traditional. And I don't want them to further exploit things like, just for example, you know, our reinforcements flooding a lane all becoming 2/1s. It's pretty problematic. So that was a heads up play by our opponent, right? Bravo.
My blade is death to assassins.
Okay.
Kneel before the saints.
It's a great way to come over here and contest. Gatekeeper's a solid option to have picked up on our end.
Coming, eh?
Because now we have our choice, right? We could play this Gambler and a Barrow Stalker, or we could just play the Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper gonna be the play. It slows ourselves down pretty dramatically. However, they don't really have a recourse here unless they have a way to pump this, right? So it could very well be something like Resolute Ally or just Divine Fervor to trade even, but that benefits us as well.
Preparations have been made. For the Emperor!
Okay. Very well done.
This is on your head.
Bad turn deserves another.
By the 3, I will spill your blood.
Very well done. Alright, so we have this nice Curse Leaf Lurker combo working in our favor now. But I think for now we're going to hold on to it. And we're going to go with the Barrow Stalker to contest at least one of these, along with the Gambler. Mammoth isn't, I think, as helpful here. Could argue that we could have, say, like, cursed this if we wanted to save our Skulk. But at this point, we kind of want to slow them down a bit. Make them pick and choose, right? If they want to take this, then we have the option of just cursing that and then pushing 6. Or again, saving our curse for the Leaf Lurker, etc., etc. They're thinking it through. 6 Magicka with that many cards in hand means a lot of options as Crusader. Alright, so they are going to go with the Crusader's Assault. Only the 1 card, but probably still worth it because that means they get the full clear on the field lane.
I am
And, you know, they get rid of my Skulk. A bit sad. We'd like to get more curses, but on the other hand, we don't have to draw Skulk anymore. And that's a wily beast showing up on their end. Sheer Point, I think, is a great pickup for us right now. Just go ahead and push face. We'll happily take this. And with us still at 27 health, I kind of don't care if they hit me. So while we could make this an 0-2, I think we just sit. I think we just sit and wait. We've got the positive tempo in our favor, and we want to save things like this Curse, like this Leaf Lurker, like the Shadow Fen for allowing us to just continue pushing damage in the shadow.
I'll whip them into shape.
The 8 protect us.
Because again, we've got a pretty significant health lead, so we're forcing them to fight for the board, and this is a deck where I think our top end is just overall better, so. They're going to play a lot of bodies there. None of that is very surprising, but we're going to benefit from saving our curse. That's a 0 cost answer for dealing with the guard. Allows us to push a lot of damage. And I do think that's ultimately what we want to do here. Just go ahead and do that.
You bet on the wrong side.
Let's get that damage in, and then I really like the idea of maybe developing Barrowstalker and Gambler, just because Barrowstalker means that this gets eaten and then they don't have good trading options for both. Like even with a Divine Fervor, one of these still survives in that regard. And then we'd also have the Gambler as well. Saves at least the Priest. We don't have a good choice for that, but saves this, or if they play something like Hive Defender, we can silence it, etc., etc. So I do think we're going to go with these two and just pitch the Leaf Lurker here. I think this ultimately ends up being the correct play. Against tokens, Leaf Lurker doesn't have as many opportunities to shine. Priest just gives you more overall utility because it can also hit Fervor if necessary, though again right now it's really all about that guard that they may or may not have. But yeah, the idea is if they have Divine Fervor, then they can clear these three but not this, and so we're just hoping that we would top deck into a Cliff Racer at that point, a Razum, a Tazcad. Yeah, this is a deck that I actually was like, you know what, I miss when Tazcad used to be the go-to finisher. Before Uncano, before Razum, before, you know, Hercene, it was Tazcad. It was the Pack Daddy, and I wanted to go back to those glory days. Now, granted, a long time ago, Tazcad used to be 8, just like Uncano. And a step further, before the Soulrest Marshal and Thieves Guild recruit nerfs, you used to be able to play Tazcad on like turn 4.
Might prove
Like, it was absolutely absurd the things that you could do. Okay, so far so good. A Resolute Ally buffing their board here would be really bad for us. That's a good sign. Now we just need them. Oh, they've got the Dawnbreaker. Okay. Fair enough. But we are going to draw a number of cards, but none of them the burst we were hoping for. We do have this Scourge into Leaf Lurker combo, though.
You bet on the wrong side.
The most likely candidate. It at least allows us to get rid of the 6/5, meaning that they would lose this when they trade in. Still give us 2 bodies on the board, both capable of threatening lethal, and the silence left over. I do think that ultimately this is the correct play. Again, positive tempo, get rid of their stuff, put some bodies on the board, try to push. We also, again, we've got them low enough that Cliff Racer, Razum, Tazcad, you know, they can all finish them off. So at this point, we've got at least 5 draws. We're almost halfway through our deck. 5 draws that can potentially get us there. All right, so here's guard number 1. We just need them to not have guard number 2. Actually, if they have guard number 2, we're fine there as well. If this trades, this can eat this. So at that point, we're really just hoping... Oh, no, they're going to take that. That's okay.
Behold my power.
No, this still trades, though, so guard number 2.
We'll hold, no matter
Shadowfen, we're still okay. We don't even need the Shadowfen right now. They went hunting for an answer. If it's another Rift Thane, they still lose. But we might just see a concede here if they didn't find it, because on board right now we have enough to threaten lethal. And there it is. So, well navigated, I think. This could have been a pretty rough matchup for us, potentially. Right? They have the ability to get underneath a more expensive, like mid-rangey deck like this, but that's it. That's 2 games, win or lose. That deck performed far better than I was expecting. I wanted to make some memes Deck code will be in the video description like always if you want to take this and then, you know, make it a real version, because as I said, I don't even think Galyn belongs in there. This was just my like, I'm tired of Galyn, I'm tired of Razum, we're going to throw him in a deck and see what happens moment. And anyway, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Until next time, may you walk on warm sands.